Right now I'm doing contract work where I have a set number of total hours that I'm allowed to do for the job. But for some reason, the online claiming system we use doesn't have a way to list out the total number of hours you actually claimed, but it does list out the exact dates you've claimed and the hours you've claimed on those days. So I'm going to use some simple shell scripting to take that data and merge it into what I need. Let's get started. So whenever you have a problem like this, the first thing that you're going to want to do is actually just examine the data. So I've gone to the liberty of already downloading the data because I don't feel like showing off the internal staff website. So what you want to do is you want to look for patterns that you can actually observe in this data. So there's a very simple one here. So whenever there's hours, it specifically just says the number and then hours. So we can use that with a grep, for example, and grep every line that contains hours. So that's actually got us something fairly useful. So from here, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to meld the data into a form that I can use to simply count. So from here, what I can see that I need to get rid of, I need to get rid of these white spaces, obviously. I need to get rid of these hours, these minutes, and also these 30 minutes in here would also be a problem because if I leave them in, and I leave them in on this line, that'd say I worked for 530 hours, which is obviously ridiculous. So I'm going to have to convert those over into decimals as well. And then after that, I'm going to have to total everything up, and then I should have a number that will work. So I think I should start with removing that white space. So I can simply do this with a sed command. If you haven't used sed before, basically the S option lets you do a regex search and replace. So if we replace the white space with nothing, then we remove the first white space. But if you want to do a regex replace multiple times on a line, then give it the -G option, then it will do it globally for that line. I know globally is a weird choice of words for that. If you notice I keep peering over that way, it's because I've got the OBS screen open, and one time I recorded and forgot to move my webcam and I started writing script under it. So I'll try not to do that this time. So I think a good place to start now would be removing the hours, which is fairly simple, just pretty much the same thing before. S/hours//. Then the same thing can be done with the minutes. Okay, so now we have something we can work with. So now we've just got numbers, so if I wanted to, I could just tally everything up at this point. So I could do something like awk total plus equals the 0th option. It starts from a 0 index, and then we end that, and then we can go print total. But as I said before, it's going to count these lines where it says 530 and 330 as those full numbers, but we don't want that. We want those to be treated as decimals. So what we can do is come in here with another S command with our sed and replace those 30s with the decimal equivalent with, so not a 0.5, a 0.5. So if we replace that, and if I remember to end my sed command properly, then we get 318. And just to be safe, there may have been shifts where I worked 15-minute blocks, so I will just go and replace those as well. I don't think there was, because the number seems to be correct, but just to be safe, and I forgot to end my sed properly again. So there we go, we have my total number of work hours, 318. It's not important to the video, but my contract is for 350, so I've only got about 32 left at this point. So this is a fairly short video, but I just wanted to show off some simple ways that, or just a simple way that you can use shell scripting to get some jobs done that you wouldn't have been able to do any other way. Obviously, you could write a Python script for it and do it with some loops and other stuff, but that's way too much work when you can just do it with one line of very simple shell script. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I want to talk about in this video. So yeah, if you enjoyed this style of video where I just do a short tutorial looking at some shell scripting, or I've got some other art stuff that I want to look at, and I might do it in a similar style. But if you like this, remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon below. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more. And I'm out.